Hi guys, welcome to Go Off Sis. We've got another fun episode for you guys today. I don't know if I'd call it fun. We're diving deep. This is our hot tub episode.
Yes, we're calling it our hot tub episode because this is a serious talk that we had in a hot tub in Nashville
Actually,
at like 1 a.m, and we decided that it would be a great podcast episode.
Yeah.
And we were so tired.
Yeah. That's how you know it's good, when you stay up late to talk.
Yeah. Because we had to wake up at 7 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
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 But, yeah. So this episode, I mean, it's still going to be fun.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
We always make everything fun, but basically,
And it's not like depressing.
Right.
no, it's not depressing at all. But we were reflecting on just our sisterhood, I would say, and all of our unique dynamics, because like my relationship with Cassidy, for example, is so different than Lexi's relationship with Cassidy. And Lindsay and Lexi's relationship is so different than me and Cassidy. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of dynamics and we've been through a lot together as sisters. And so we kind of wanted to just spend an episode to talk about our journey of how we got here. Because honestly, like 10 years ago, we would have been really young, but even like 5 years ago, like I don't know if we could have done a podcast together.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite literally, sisterhood.
Yeah.
This episode is sisterhood.
Right.
Of the traveling pants.
I mean, sometimes you do be taking my pants. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro. Can never live that down.
Don't you have them in her drawer?
No,
In
I
your
gave
drawer?
them
Gave 'em
back.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't.
That's
even.
good. Sorry.
Yeah. So who wants to start?
Do you want me to, or Lexi, do you want to start?
Why do you have bad stuff to say?
No, I don't have anything bad to say.
I'm scared to start, so you start.
Okay, I'll start.
Also, wait, I'm sorry. This is a side note. We never told in our Nashville episode the unhinged ratchet almond mom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
You could just tell it real quick.
I don't even know. It's
We were just in the car and we were like describing mom, like talking about how mom just like sometimes is crazy. She's down for anything. Like she's so fun, but like is still in her 20s, it feels like. So Lexi called her. She started with just unhinged. She was like, "You're so unhinged, mom." And then she was like, "But also you're an almond mom." So and then it turned into unhinged ratchet almond mom.
because I feel like, how do I say this without sounding like I'm dissing her? Like, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just like, you know how like some moms, like right before they go to bed, like the whole house is like completely neat, like ready for the next day. Like my mom growing up, her motto was like, it's a tomorrow's problem. Like the house would be messy. She don't care. She's getting that 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And so that's where like the ratchet comes from, even though our house was never like gross, but it was not, I feel like we always felt free to like make arts and crafts, like do crazy stuff in the house, and it was always like, oh, who cares if you get dirty? Like
The house
like
was
mom,
always clean.
yeah, it was clean, yeah.
Always.
But like mom was always very like, yeah, like we'll have fun and get dirty, we can clean it up, like clean it up later.
Yeah.
And then the unhinged was just like, she just did a lot of things that a lot of moms wouldn't do. And then also the ratchet thing comes from like, since she's an almond mom, like she doesn't like eat that much, but like she's not eating like a piece of kale a day and like a probiotic smoothie. She like has a Diet Coke and like a piece of a chocolate bar. Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean by kind of ratchet.
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero and
Zero.
chocolate,
Yeah.
and that's her diet. And
Yeah.
some yogurt here and
Yeah.
there.
But she thought it was so funny. Her eye was twitching. When my mom
Yeah.
thinks something's so funny, her eye starts twitching really
Yeah.
hard. And her eye was twitching when Lexi said this. So
Yeah. So anyways,
she'd be okay with us.
Her eye's
saying
twitching
this.
right now.
Honestly,
yeah, while she's
listen.
listening to this, I can hear it twitching right now.
Honestly.
That's how loud it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll move into the serious topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
Right.
starting.
Yeah, Danielle, you start.
It's not that serious.
No, it's not.
No,
and
it
I'm
is.
definitely going to cut you off at some point. So just be
I know.
prepared.
I bet
I'll
we're-
listen to you, but like,
Yeah, we're all gonna chime in, obviously.
Yeah, I know you should. It's
Okay.
a two-way
We're
conversation.
making people nervous. They're probably like,
I
"Oh my
know.
gosh."
Nothing's bad. Okay.
we're breaking up
No. So,
as
Podcast
sisters.
done.
dang, short-lived. Okay, so I'll start. So obviously I'm the oldest sister. And so I know my relationships with my sisters is really unique just because I'm the oldest. So I'll start with Cassidy.
Okay.
Okay. Are you nervous?
No, I just don't know what you're going to say. I
Okay.
don't know.
So growing up, Cassidy was obviously my first sister. And I remember when we were younger, I think this is really normal for siblings, but you just kind of annoy each other a little bit. Like you have fun, like you do all the fun, like vacation stuff or like going to the zoo with like your mom, you know, everything was fun, but you just kind of annoy each other. And so that was, I would say, most of me and Cassidy's childhood. Like we always would have fun together and we would like play with our friends, but yeah, like I'm sure like I bothered her, she bothered me.
Right. I have a specific memory that pops up in my head, if you don't mind me sharing. Me and Danielle used to share a bed in the very first house that I remember living in, and one night Danielle turned to me and she was like, Cassidy, let's do this thing where I scratch your back until you fall asleep. You scratch my back until you fall asleep. Like, and then we switch every other night. Did I tell the story?
I don't remember.
I told it recently. I don't think I said it on the podcast though.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe. I'll just share it anyway. So the first night I remember, you know, I scratched Danielle's back, you know, whatever. The next night, I think she scratched mine. I think we went back and forth for a little bit, but then Danielle was like, oh, like, can you scratch my back tonight? I know it's your turn, but like, we'll do yours next. And then it just kind of turned into, I just scratched Danielle's back to fall asleep. And I just remember it being such like, it's just so funny, like, and stupid. Like, I don't know why we did that.
I literally don't even remember that.
Really?
No, I don't.
Yeah, we were, I think we were really young.
Yeah.
But it just sticks out of my head because it's like, as like
kind of like describes
children.
an older and younger sister relationship, you know, like you kind of do what she says, she's secretly trying to screw you over.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like she's in it for herself.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that was kind of like our childhood, I would say. And then we became like really good friends for a while.
In like what,
like
high
middle school? It was like
okay.
late, I would say like late middle school for me and then early high school. We would hang out all the time.
Okay.
With our friends, you know, our friends from like school, neighborhood friends, church friends, like we all just kind of hung out together. It was really fun. And then Cassidy and I got to an age, maybe I was like 16, I think. Like I started driving. I just remember I suddenly got old. I was 16. I was driving. Maybe I was 15 when this all started, but
I think you were 16 because I rode the bus. You drove to school. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Because I was in high school. I drove and then you rode the bus. Right. So it was just this really interesting thing where all of my sisters were so young. I mean, Lexi was literally like, if I was 16, you would have been 7 years old.
Yeah.
Which is so young.
That's
like,
what?
Second grade.
Yeah. That's wild.
So I'm driving. Lexi's in second grade.
Danielle's got to get her booster seat out of her car to take Lexi anywhere.
I was driving the minivan to school.
Oh, yeah.
So, because mom didn't need to leave.
Right.
When we were younger. But anyways, so yeah, I remember feeling really, really old. And that is when things got, I would say, just between Cassidy and I, just because we were the closest. Like,
right.
Me and Lindsay always had a good relationship because the age gap was so big. Like, I didn't really ever super like emotionally bond with Lindsay until we got older. And same with Lexi, you know. But Cassidy and I just started fighting and not really enjoying being around each other during that time.
Like a
lot. We would fight over clothes. I mean, a lot of it was stuff that I did, honestly. Like I would take her clothes, but then I find out all these years later that Cassidy would yell at me for like borrowing a sweatshirt. And it was always, oh, Danielle's borrowing Cassidy's clothes. Like she can't stop borrowing Cassidy's clothes. Cassidy tells me, oh, was this like a year ago? She told me she would secretly take my clothes, go to the bus stop with my clothes in her backpack, and then change at the bus stop.
No, I would change at the house because you were already gone.
Oh, you'd wait until I went to the bus.
Yeah. And then I'd come home and you would already be home and
you would change at the bus stop out of it.
Yeah, or in the garage, or
I was going to say it's definitely the garage. I always did that too.
Either way, girl was secretly borrowing my clothes. Well, and it's fine.
It was only on occasion, and you stole my clothes all the time. The issue that I have, here's my thing.
Her still being bitter.
I just like, I'm very observant of like, for instance, my makeup, and I knew you would come and use my makeup because it would be in a different place than where I left it, and then you'd lie and be like, I didn't come and take it. And that's where I was like, bro, like you literally, and then
I don't ever remember using your makeup. I always borrowed mom's.
I literally like remember it moving. Okay, so it was probably Lexi, her little.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I literally don't, because I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't like your makeup.
Oh,
not like that. Just like it wasn't my style.
Right.
Okay, anyway, so
Anyway.
moving back on track, the moral of this is that not all of us have always been super close.
Yeah.
That's
This-
kind of what we wanted to talk about this episode, was how
Yeah.
our relationships have changed over the years and how we haven't always been
Right.
close enough to honestly have a podcast.
Well, yeah, and I think also it's just maturity. Like you literally get more mature as you get
Yeah.
older.
Right.
And I feel like middle school, high school, even college, like those, they're like such isolating time periods where it's like, if you're in high school associating with your middle school sister and vice versa, if you're in college associating with your high school sister, it's just not like what you do.
Yeah.
Well, me and Lindsay did.
Yeah. But
Well, that's true. It was different. Like,
You're
me and
also the
Lindsay were
two
always
youngest.
close. Like, I don't think Lindsay liked me until I was probably 10. But like when she did like me, like in middle school, like we were friends, she would pick me up from school. She'd get me out early. She drove me to school. Like we would literally like find times throughout our day in high school to meet up in the hallway and give each other like notes.
yeah.
Like we were always like friends.
Right.
So
When
Yeah,
did you do that?
okay.
You only could have done that in high school.
Yeah. For 1
yeah,
year.
in high school for 1 year when I was a freshman and she was a senior, I had
Oh,
3
okay.
classes at like the big
Oh.
building.
I
Right.
see.
And we would
Yeah.
like meet up after classes and give each
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
Right. What I was going to say about like me and Cassidy, I feel like we started becoming close again when we were older. And it was when we kind of got to the same life stage
Right.
where we both had gone through like some really hard things in life and we were able to bond over that. And because when like bad stuff happens, like who do you talk to? Like you
Right.
talk to your mom, or if you have sisters, you talk to your sister,
Right.
Yeah.
or your best friends.
Yeah.
But we have some people that are basically like sisters, like I would talk to them too. But that's kind of when we started, being able to like hang out with each other again. And then I would say we became really close.
Yeah, I
again
would say
after
like,
that.
kind of once I moved back from New York,
Yeah.
pretty much because I mean, right after high school, I moved to New York and then like I would talk to you guys, but honestly, I don't really remember talking to you guys that much.
Your service was so spotty out there. I remember sometimes I would text you and like it wouldn't say delivered.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Unbothered.
yeah, either way, when you went to New York, I mean, I was young, but we didn't really talk.
Right. There was a time when I was still in high school, I believe, and Danielle moved back in. Remember? You
Yeah.
moved back into mom's house and then we shared a room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember what that was like.
It was
It was-
rough. I remember.
Was it?
I don't really remember it that much. I do remember like you went to bed early because you were in school
Oh.
and I was working super
Oh,
late.
yeah.
And so, and you got kind of mad when I would come into the room because I like couldn't see and I didn't
Oh,
want to turn the
yeah.
light on.
I do remember that.
because I was trying to let you sleep and I would like run into my bed.
You would like bump around and stuff, which is honestly worse than turning the lights on. You were like make all this noise because you couldn't see.
I was like trying to be respectful and then Cassidy would yell at me. And so then I just started sleeping in the basement.
You slept in the basement
On
Oh, I
the
don't remember
couch.
that.
Yeah, for like a month.
Oh,
Dang.
Yeah.
my bad.
And then I moved out because
Oh,
I
right.
didn't like sleeping on the couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say
But-
that's pretty much accurate. I feel like in I guess it would have been high school for you. Maybe it was high school for me too. I didn't like one of Danielle's boyfriends.
Yeah.
And that really caused a rift between us because I was very vocal about it, which really surprises me.
I
at
know.
this
I think
point
about
in
that.
time.
Like, not that you're not a vocal person.
Well, yeah,
But
I'm
you're
not.
definitely the peacemaker, and like
Right.
you, like the fact that you were so vocal that you didn't like her boyfriend at the time
Yeah.
is just so interesting to
I
me.
know.
Well, and I
Because
think
you were, I liked him because he got me Skittles.
I think the thing
was
with
for the young.
thing with that was it wasn't necessarily that you didn't like him. It was more like we used to hang out every single
Yeah.
day.
Oh, right.
And then all of a sudden I wasn't hanging out with you every single day anymore
Right.
because
Yeah.
we were in 2 different life stages
Right.
and you weren't able to understand that. And also I wasn't able to understand why you were
Right.
so mad.
Yeah.
Because I just
Right.
didn't get it. I was like, what do you mean? I have a boyfriend now. Like but I didn't know what I was doing. I was like 17. Like,
yeah.
Right.
And I think it was also like hard because since you were older and you were kind of like thrown into the deep end and like you had a boyfriend and you were out living your life, that's when me, Lindsay, and Cassidy started to get really close.
True.
Like, I just remember us when we lived, like you were still in high school and Lindsay was in middle school. I was probably in elementary school. Like we hung out like every day in the summer together. Like we
Yeah.
always did stuff like, and you weren't really there, which I mean is valid. You were way older. You had more things to do.
Right.
We
I
were
was
just
always with my
chilling around the
friends.
neighborhood, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that like we really became close during that moment. And then I think like as we got older, it changed because you moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of was like, oh, me, Lindsay, and Danielle, because we were here.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like a time and place, I'd say probably like, when did you move here?
What do you mean?
Move back to Michigan.
It was like a year after you got married.
Yeah, how long ago was it?
2021, I believe.
Oh,
I'd say like the year before you moved back or 2 years. I don't
2020, December 2020.
think.
Right, yeah.
I don't think all four of us were like super close.
Right.
Like, I think we all, like, we still had a good sister relationship, but we weren't nearly as close as we are now.
Right. Well, you
Mhm.
were in high school.
Yeah. And honestly, when I was in high school, I did not bang with them. No, like I
This is
did, but I
true.
remember like,
you were so friend focused.
I was very friend focused. I mean, I was the only one living at home. Like
Right.
Lindsay was gone. It was just me and mom and dad. So basically my family was my friends in high school.
Yeah.
Like, and you were in New York, you were getting married. Lindsay was at Hope at college. Like it was really just me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really friend orientated. And I remember like my boyfriend through high school told me like a year or two ago how like my relationship with you guys changed so much from when the first time
Mm-hmm.
like we started dating. He was like, I remember when we started dating, like you weren't super close with them, and if they wanted to do something as a family, you'd kind of would be like, oh, like I don't want to go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's changed so much where now it's like I hang out with you guys probably more than I hang out with friends.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But-
valid.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, I feel like in high school that was kind of my villain era.
Yeah.
Like not like it wasn't like I
Well-
didn't like them, but it was like I just felt like I had better things to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You
you
know
were
what
the
I mean?
youngest too. Like it felt like we had all experienced high school already. You were
Mhm.
still experiencing it for the first time. Like, which sometimes as sisters we feel like we need to like tell you how to do things or tell
Mhm.
you like how
Yeah.
to experience high school or like tell you, oh, it's gonna get better, whatever. And honestly, when you're in high school, when you're in that, you don't want to hear that.
No.
You're like, I don't want to hear about how you did it because like that's not applicable to me.
Yeah.
You know, so
and that's me and Lindsay struggled with that because we used to fight sometimes as her being a senior and me being a freshman
Mhm.
because she wanted to like tell me what to do, and I was like, so like no, like I know what's best for me. Really, I didn't, but like we would fight about that, and I feel like that was probably I think in high school I had not anger, but I felt almost as if you guys abandoned me when I was in high school, just because
Yeah.
like you weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it was like I wanted these older sisters that I grew up with my whole life, and it was like the most important like time in my life. Like I was developing into being like a woman, and I just really felt like I didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
Like you guys, like if I text or called you, you'd be there, but it's just not the same. Versus
Yeah.
you,
Different.
like we were always there, but you didn't want to be with us.
Right.
Because
But
I
mine was like I really wanted to be with you guys,
Yeah.
but I couldn't.
Yeah. I want you to know you were a big reason why we moved back from New York.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm about to cry.
Well, because we were like, Lexi's still in high school. It's such like an impressionable time. And like, I'm not even there to like know what she's going through. Like, I'm not even there to like talk to her about anything. So we
Yeah.
were like, we just felt like we were like, we were in New York for a good reason, but it was like at the same time, I feel like I'm missing out on so much. And like, these are really impactful years for me too. Like I was like 22 or 23. Like these are big years.
Yeah.
So that was you and like, obviously like I want to see everyone, but like we kept being like, Lexi's literally in high school and she has like no one. Like Lindsay's at college and like obviously you had your friends, but I was like, I don't want to be that random shadow sister that's just off in
Yeah.
a different state that no one hears from.
And I
So,
really appreciated that. I feel like you guys did a good job at like not letting me feel like I was on my own. Like even though I might have felt that way at times, like you guys made it really clear that you wanted to be like a part of my life. Which
Yeah.
even if I like didn't act the same because I was like, no, I don't want to hang out with these people. Like, yeah.
yeah.
definitely was a conscious effort and
Yeah.
a unique thing too. Just like we said earlier, like being in such a different stage of life when you were in high school, I had to like make the effort to be like, okay, I got to take work off this night because Lexi has a choir concert,
Yeah.
you know, and I
Yeah.
didn't have to do that, but like we wanted to do that.
And I think that's what has like made our relationship the way it is because like I knew you guys were intentional.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people with their siblings, like their older siblings don't care if they go to anything.
Mhm.
But like you guys wanted to make sure that you were there for me and like vice versa. Like we all wanted to be there for each other.
Bro, those choir concerts, I swear, we fill up a whole row.
I know.
And
Everyone would always come to my choir concert.
They were
We were
good.
cheering so loud during those choir
Yeah.
concerts.
Right.
I feel like youngest and oldest definitely have it hardest. Like, to be honest, I didn't really have the struggle of like, oh, my sister's in a completely different stage of life than me. Like, yes, I did, but not to the point that you guys are talking about.
You had someone above you that had already gone through it, and you had someone below you
that you could help.
You could help.
Yeah. Like, I really don't feel like I feel like you guys definitely had the hardest positions. You both had different struggles. Like Lexi, you're saying like you kind of felt left behind, like everyone moved on without you. And then Danielle's like pioneering this whole thing, being the first child. Like mom and dad had no idea what it was like to have a child that age. So like I just kind of felt like, yo, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm cruising.
I also felt like mom is obviously amazing, but I just sometimes I remember feeling this way when I was in high school. I just felt like mom had like she was like raising children, and I was like kind of an adult, and it was just hard.
Like she didn't know when to like let go.
Not
like you were getting older and she...
No, not even to let go. I felt like a lot of her energy was focused on you guys, but like as it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you
Like
know
she
what I
wasn't
mean?
worried about you.
She wasn't worried about me because I was working, I was doing my stuff, and also I didn't vocalize like, hey, like I'm feeling alone. I didn't say that. So it's like, how would she know? But that was something that was really unique to my experience. Just with like mom, but she knows she's amazing, that I think she's amazing.
It's funny because I always see those TikToks about like the older sibling being like salty about what the younger sibling gets to do, because like Danielle had like, you know, like a bunch of rules and stuff, and like Lexi still had rules, but like they definitely weren't as intense. I mean, I also feel like things just change as time changes. Like, you know, cell phones were like kind of just like not really a thing when we were in like middle school, but then like at Lexi's age, like in middle school, it's like you have to have a phone to stay relevant. Right. So stuff like that, I feel like just changes.
Stay relevant. I've always been relevant.
No, I mean for real, we gotta stay with it. We are.
At middle school,
relevant.
I was trying to be that YouTuber, you know, Emma Chamberlain had to be.
You remember the vlog you did with your friends?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You should post it.
No, that will die with me.
No.
I think it's funny that you talk about the like mom thing, because I think I had a similar experience, but it was kind of opposite. It was like I felt like mom and dad were moving on, where it was like, okay, we're kind of done raising children, but I was still there. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and like they were so focused on helping you, like move out and college and your life, and you in New York and Lindsay in college. Like you guys had big things going on, where it was like they were always there for you. But then it's like, what was I doing like in school? So it's kind of like at times I felt like I was just like kind of like brushed under the rug, because it's like I wasn't really doing anything that cool.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, just going to school.
Yeah, I was just going to school. So then I was just kind of like, oh. Like I feel like the youngest sister, I feel like one of the hardest things you struggle with is like the comparison. Because it's like you guys are older than me by a lot, but it's hard when you're not young enough to be like, oh, well, my sister's so successful and so this, like, and I'm not there yet. But then I have to remember I'm literally 9 years younger than you.
Yeah, literally.
But like when I was in high school, and like I was really hard on myself about that, because I just felt like I wasn't like good enough.
Right.
Because you guys were so great, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
That's nice.
But honestly, I get that feeling. Like I'll look at people that are like, you know, 30 and I'm 25.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. 25. And like, I'm like, you had 5 years to develop this thing, or like to grow this business or whatever it is. Like you've had 5 more years than me. Like go easy on yourself. And if you don't hit like that mark by 30, it's okay.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's different.
We create these like things in our head,
right?
Like these scenarios, these markers, and they're not real.
I do feel like now that we're all graduated from high school, you're still in college, but like soon I could see us all being in like similar life stages. Like, you know, we're going to have kids play into it at some point, and like someone might have kids, someone might not. But like, I really feel like we're only going to get closer at this point. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of past the point where it's like, we're petty. We're arguing about clothes and
Right.
boyfriends. Like we're past that. We're on to
happens occasionally.
oh yeah, well yeah. Well, don't talk to me about the Nashville trip, little miss. I forgot my my eyebrow gel, and I forgot every single thing that I should have packed.
Lexi, when we got to Nashville, she's unpacking. She goes, "Does anyone? Does anyone have any foundation or a moisturizer or eyebrow gel
or mascara
Or toothpaste. Or hairbrush.
or deodorant?"
I literally didn't bring anything. That's why you don't pack 10 minutes before a trip. I was like, or perfume, or I literally didn't have anything.
or socks,
blush.
or
I didn't have
underwear,
blush.
or an outfit for Saturday,
So
or
funny.
cowboy boots.
Oh
Honestly,
man,
I shouldn't have even brought a bag at that point.
Honestly, I wore a lot of the clothes I brought. I like didn't wear.
No, yeah, I literally wore 2 things that I packed.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Yeah.
But anyways, one thing I was gonna say, I feel like when it comes to like sibling relationships, a lot of people wonder how we like are so close. And I think literally at some point you just have to, at least for me, you guys probably didn't feel this because I was the youngest. I had to break that barrier of like, okay, they're not my parents.
yeah.
Oh
Like
right.
they're
Well,
like,
I
and they're
had-
not just my siblings. Like if I want them to be my friends, I have to break that barrier of like telling you guys things and like letting you into my life because I was a really secretive person in high school.
Oh yes, you were.
Like I
It's
honestly
okay. We
sometimes I
know.
still am secretive.
oh girl, we know.
We know sometimes her location
Yeah, it's buffering.
disappears.
1 hour ago, she's been in this spot. Okay.
Like I just really was because I just felt like I wasn't ready to like let you guys in. And then I had to like think to myself like these are going to be people that I'm going to be friends with my whole life.
Right.
And I, like if I want them to let me in their life, I have to let them in mine. And then I don't know, at some point I just started kind of, well, actually, I got forced into a situation where I had to be vulnerable with my sisters because I got grounded and I was in high school depressed and I literally
yeah, you had no one else.
I had no one else but you guys because I was grounded from people.
Yeah, no one could see you.
Our mom would ground you from what you cared about the most.
Oh,
so
yeah.
me and Lexi, it was always people, and Cassidy, it was her Tamagotchi.
No, genuinely, like my punishment as a kid was I couldn't talk for like 30 minutes. And then if I like mumbled something, they'd be like, restart the timer. She talked. Or I'd be like grounded from gum. Like she'd take my whole stash of gum.
Danielle, I think you forgot that in middle school, mom and dad would track how many texts I sent. And there was one week I sent 100,000 texts.
That's actually crazy, bro.
yeah.
Bro, we only were allowed 140 texts a month.
No, we were on unlimited at that point.
They
Sorry.
probably took it away after that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yours is probably your
100,000.
phone. Like your
Yeah.
little
Just
phone if you
anything.
got
But
grounded.
I do remember one time you got grounded for your Tamagotchi and you started crying
My
because you were like,
Tamagotchi?
you
How
were
old
like,
was I? 5?
you were like, it's gonna die. I
Well,
need to feed it.
And it probably did die. I actually do remember my Tamagotchi dying at one point.
Well, I know it's
and
crazy. I don't even know what a Tamagotchi is.
it's just like a little like seed thing that you take care of, and then it turns into this little creature. Like literally, that's it.
It sounds so
you,
I know.
bro. You've low-key always been a gamer.
Oh,
She is
No,
a
yeah.
gamer
Yeah.
at heart. If you guys don't know that, like in her alone time, she like plays the Nintendo Switch.
I go through phases, and I've been in a phase
me too.
recently. But like I'm over it now. I'm literally like, bro, that's so boring now. But like I'll go a month where I'm like, I'll buy a game and want to like play it nonstop.
I'll beat
then
the
I'm over
game.
it. Yeah.
And then I'm over it for
Yeah.
like 6 months and then I'll get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I had a comment to make about. Oh, I wanted to talk about us two because we never talked, and then we have to talk about you and Danielle
yeah,
too.
and Lindsay.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
gosh, we gotta lock in.
No.
We're okay.
Yeah,
No, we're
we're
good.
locked in.
We're
okay,
chilling.
so me and Lexi, I feel like we don't have too much to say. TBH,
Yeah, honestly.
because
It's kind of our vibe though.
I know,
Just
like,
living.
We just always, but like. Growing up, Lexi obviously was always the youngest, and I would say her and Lindsay always had like drama or something going on, and I was
Man.
kind of
Even
just
to
like
this day, if she
there.
hits me, I'll hit her back. Don't play.
But like me and Lexi did start like hanging out when I was in probably middle school, and then you were in elementary school, and we would just, like you said, like during the summers we would hang out and whatnot.
I just remember when I was young, I thought you were really cool.
Yeah, because
Really?
Cassidy did your
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, like I just feel like that's kind of our relationship. It's like Cassidy wants to do something and I'm always gonna tag along.
Right.
That's very
Like
true.
like that's always like when I was young, she'd be like, "You want to make a music video and you're the star?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You want me to bleach your hair?" And I'm like, "Of course." So like,
Yeah.
she's like, "Do you want to jump off the balcony just attached to scarves?" And I'm like, "Of course." Like that's kind of
This is
always been.
valid.
So like when I was young, and yeah, like you were in middle school, I was in elementary school. I would always want to hang out with you, and I don't know, you liked. I feel like just experimenting with me, honestly.
I liked how crazy Lexi was. I was
Yeah.
like, I can really capitalize on this because I was
honestly, I've
did-
always been your like, what's it called? Your
Muse.
lab rat. Yeah, yeah.
Guinea pig.
Well, I
guinea
did
pig.
hair in high school, and Lexi, literally every single video was me bleaching Lexi's hair, curling it, braiding it. Like we did stuff all the time
Yeah.
like that. Music videos, whatever. Yeah, and then I obviously like moved to New York and Lexi like grew up, and then I was like, okay, I feel like I don't know her as well. You also, like we said, became very friend oriented, and
Yeah.
I mean, I had my own friend group in New York too, and so it was like that's just the life stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like lately, especially now that you've been in like college
Mm-hmm.
and you moved into my house, I feel like we've gotten a lot closer. And like you said, you started to open up about different stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's been smooth sailing.
Like I feel like you're probably the sister I've beefed with the least.
honestly, I'm probably the sister everyone beefs with the least. 'Cause
That's actually
what am I
probably true.
gonna
Not
say?
that we like actually beef that much, but like genuinely, like the only argument me and Cassidy I remember is the shotgun argument in Miami. Like literally like 3 years ago, we actually got in a fight over shotgun.
Yeah.
Like it was bad.
Well, I have my reasons.
yeah, I don't
She
even
still
remember.
holds on to that too. Look at her.
Well, no, you brought Jad, and like Jad would be in the back seat with me, and I'm like, why are you not in the back seat with your boyfriend that you brought? Like, why
that's
do I have to
low-key
be in the back
valid.
seat with the boyfriend that you brought?
Like
Like,
it's
I was
always
like,
just like, just call shotgun then. Like then call it first.
and
You
then
won't.
and then her solution was, well, you were slow. And I'm like, well, you brought your boyfriend.
And then yeah, that was literally it.
I forgot about that.
I don't.
Lexi, I literally forgive you. I've not thought twice about that since the day it happened.
Oh, you need me to forgive you, not the other way around. I didn't do anything. I called shotgun. Like, that's the rules of the game. Anyways, no.
Well, I do feel like we argued about shotgun. Everyone growing
Yeah,
up
we all
a
did.
yeah.
lot.
I mean,
We would
most
get so
siblings
mad.
don't argue about shotgun because it's like, when do you call it? Like, do you have to see the car?
I think
called it too early.
Yeah, mom had to make rules for it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was like when we're officially leaving.
No, we would do days. It was like it's Cassidy's day or it's this person's day for shotgun. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, yo, let's go everywhere.
Yeah. So for us, I feel like, our relationship has always been pretty good. And recently, we've gotten closer. And I feel like we're very similar in ways too.
Yeah.
Like we have very similar interests.
Yeah,
like
I feel like
hobbies.
you're like the extroverted version of me.
Yeah.
But you're still introverted, but you're more extroverted than me.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
Like you're very, not like you're in your bubble. But, like,
No,
you're a
I'm in my
little-
bubble.
And I leave the bubble.
I do like the people that are my close people. Like, I'm picky about who it is. And if you're close to me, then I like literally, you hear everything. You
Yeah.
can't get me to shut up. But if
Yeah.
you don't know me, then it's like, oh, you're going to be pulling teeth a little bit for conversation. Because
Yeah,
I like to
that's
kind of
true.
keep to
That's
myself.
true.
That's true.
My life motto is like never say no. So like,
And that is very obvious, Lexi.
That's
So,
a
like-
great motto. My gosh.
That's amazing.
honestly, my thing recently is life mottos. They change every day.
Honestly.
But
That's tomorrow's problem.
yeah, that was the motto over the trip. Like that's tomorrow's problem. Don't worry about it today. But I try to like realize like self-reflect. I'm only 19 once. So like I should do fun things.
Yeah.
You know, cuz like that whole TikTok thing where it's like choose peace and like they read a book every night and go to bed at 8 p.m. Like that's fun sometimes, but you're going to do that every single day when you're 60. You know what I mean?
True.
It's like you're only 19 months where you get to hang out and meet new people.
True.
Sorry, Appa just
valid.
kicked me. And so, yeah, I feel like I kind of venture out in that way.
Yeah, I would agree.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Danielle and Lexi?
yeah.
I think ours is quick, easy.
Yeah.
So
Non-existent.
Obviously,
Well,
we've beefed a little because we're the youngest and the oldest.
yeah. But something that you said earlier reminds me, a lot of like our relationship and kind of when it changed, I really felt like, and this is normal, like as the oldest, you're
Yeah.
going to feel like you have to almost mother
Yeah.
the youngest, especially with a 9-year age gap. But I remember you and I, like our relationship was kind of weird at one point where I noticed you weren't telling me things but it was my fault because I was always giving you advice.
Yeah.
Like it was like you couldn't tell me anything without me saying something about it. And I actually called grandma one time after this happened.
Yeah.
And
Queen bee.
grandma, I don't even know if she remembers this conversation, but I was talking to her about it and I was like, I just feel like Lexi and I like are not that close. Like I really want to be closer to her. And she was like, well, I think that you are being too much of her mom and not enough of her sister.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Ooh.
oh.
Yeah.
And she said, I had to do that with my siblings because grandma was also the youngest of 5 siblings. She was like, I was
The
like
oldest
their
of
mom.
5
Yeah, the
siblings.
oldest. She was like, I remember acting like their mom. And one day I realized my sisters needed a sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I feel like when our relationship changed a little bit, where sometimes I still naturally mother. But
it's really hard when someone comes to you with a problem or like something that they're struggling with. It's hard not to try to give solutions.
Yeah.
You want to make it better. You want to help them.
Yeah.
But like you don't realize a lot of the times that's not what they need.
Exactly.
Like they just need someone to be like, I understand.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be okay. Like just listen to them. Like honestly, when I have a problem, someone gives me a solution. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to you for a solution. I could have Googled it.
Yeah.
Like I could have Googled
exactly.
it. It's crazy.
And it's really hard. It's really hard with your siblings when you literally have been
In the same shoes.
Exact same situation.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, like I just want to tell them everything. So that's just my experience with us. I feel like
I definitely agree. I mean, you just naturally wanted to give me advice and help me, which is valid. But since I was the youngest, it was like as my older sister, I just wanted you to be my older sister.
Right.
Like okay, maybe don't do that, but like period girl type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
the problem is we know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah.
And and I feel like at one point we crossed that boundary. I feel like again, it was like that time I got grounded in high school and I like went to you because I don't know. I was just like, I need to leave. I'm going to go to Danielle. And that's when we like really bonded and we like opened up and I feel like it was kind of like I finally started to tell you things and then you didn't like give me advice. You really just like hugged me and you're like, I love you. It's okay. Cause we were at her friend's house and I was just crying in a random room to Danielle and she's like hugging me crying and we're both just like, I feel like that's when we kind of like passed the boundary and then it just like progressively like got closer over time. And I think that's what's been really cool because now it's like if I have stuff going on in my life, like I'll text all 3 of you in our sisters group chat. Like, oh my gosh, guys, this happened, like all this. And then we're all like, oh, yay, like fun. And then mom's going to hate me if I say this. It's more like mom is like more of our mother now, where sometimes like there's things that happen between the 4 of us and it's like an unspoken thing. It's like, don't tell mom. You know what I mean?
Well, because it's more of a sister
exactly.
thing.
It's
not like we're being secretive.
Like that. No,
it's just
well, it's also up to you if you want to tell mom.
Well,
like,
yes, and obviously we tell mom a lot.
Yeah,
and
but you don't
like,
tell
keep
mom
secrets
everything. I don't tell mom everything. Like, she's my.
But I think at a point with at least as the youngest, you feel like your siblings are going to like update your parents on everything,
right?
When you don't want that, so then I feel like it's just an unspoken thing now, unless like that person goes to mom and dad, we have each other's back. Like, and I know you guys would either be there for me, tell me I'm wrong, or you'll support me. Yeah. Which before I didn't know like what I would get from you guys.
Because most of the time, whatever we support or tell you is wrong is also how mom and dad are going to feel.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. But that's our relationship.
Yeah.
Quick and easy.
In a nutshell. Now we got to go to Lindsay.
Yeah.
True. I mean, Lindsay's kind of, I feel like, in the same boat as me, where it's like she's a middle child. Like, I don't feel like she really had to carve the path in any sort of way.
Right.
You know, like and Lindsay was a pretty easy, like she didn't get in trouble really with mom and dad.
Lindsay was just fun. And
that
she
always made me mad.
She was like happy. Lindsay was always,
she never got in trouble, bro. Like ever.
Yeah. She always did her chores. She always
She
always woke up on time so that she got the best chores.
A's
but like
in school.
she did them great. Lindsay's just always been like a really good
person.
Yeah.
She does life well.
Yeah.
No, she does.
I feel like I got really close to Lindsay,
Yeah.
like in
You were in high school.
high school. Yeah, I can't remember exactly when, but me and Lindsay would do a lot of stuff together. And we still do. It's kind of like this weird like middle sibling thing where we're just like, yo, Danielle and Lexi are crazy. And we're just
That's
like,
fine.
yeah.
I
We
love
made
how
it.
middle children never think they're the problem.
No, literally.
And we're not.
It's always us. We're always the unhinged ones.
I mean,
Where's
We
the
kinda
lie?
were.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
still. I
Right.
think with Lindsay and me, like, she's always, oh my gosh, sorry. The mic just hit me in the mouth. Like,
Yeah,
It
Lexi's been kind of
assaulted
all
me,
over the place with
honestly.
her mic right now.
but I feel like with me and Lindsay, we were always close just because, I mean, she was the closest to me in age. And I don't know, Lindsay's a loving person. So she never really,
Yeah.
like, we never like had problems. Like, I think if I feel comfortable fighting with anyone the most, it's her, because I know no matter what, we're good. Like, we might say mean things to each other, but then we'll just like forget it and move on.
Right.
Because like she was in the house with me for the longest. You guys
Right.
weren't, and you would leave
True.
for the summer in high school.
Right.
Like, me and Lindsay would get
That's
on
true.
full blown yelling fights at each other, like so mad, and then we'd like sit in silence, and 5 minutes later we'd be like, yo, you want to go get ice cream? And you just move on.
Yeah.
So like me and Lindsay never really struggled with that. Like we were never not close.
Yeah. Me and Lindsay shared a bedroom in
Oh, so did me and Lindsay.
Oh yeah, you
Honestly,
guys
that's why I
did.
think Lindsay's kind of like close with all of us in that way, because we shared a room, you shared a room, and you and her just bonded. I don't
yeah,
know.
Lindsay was just kind of like my buddy
Yeah.
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah, she was a
She-
really good just like friend.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like she was always there for you, always making sure you're okay, always asked if you needed anything.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
a very good servant.
yeah.
Like
Like
she's a
servant-hearted.
servant's heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she'll
Not
do
like-
anything for
yeah.
you. Not like an
I mean, we
actual
did
servant.
boss her around a little bit, not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
But you
But-
shared a room with her.
Oh yeah, I shared a room with her in high school, I believe. It was when Danielle moved out and then she moved back in. We had to reconfigure the rooms, and that's when me and Lindsay ended up together because you took one of the rooms, I think.
Well, remember right when she moved out, the day she left, we
Oh yeah. Literally. I forgot we did that.
okay. So like we in the whole house we used to live in, there was a big bonus room that 2 people had to share.
Yeah, it
Me
was
and
Lexi and Lindsay.
Yeah, and we shared it until I was literally 9.
Yeah. And Danielle,
Which is young.
But for Lindsay, older.
yeah, Danielle, my mom and dad drove to Chicago to bring Danielle to college, and it was just me, Lindsay, and Lexi. And I believe it was Grandma was watching us.
But bro, she was not.
Oh yeah, she was asleep
She
on the
did
couch
not
or
care.
something. And literally the minute they walk out the door, we look at each other and we start moving furniture and moving into each other's rooms.
Yeah, obviously, because there's a free room, so we're all getting our own
Yeah.
room. We had it planned out.
Yeah, I believe I moved into the bonus room,
I
and then
got
you guys
Danielle's.
each got, like Lindsay and Lexi got the smaller rooms, but they were
Yeah.
just happy to have a room, period.
Yeah.
I really lucked out in that deal.
Yeah.
However, we did not anticipate Danielle then moving back home. Oh, and also mom coming home from Chicago. She
Oh,
was
she
like,
was mad.
what happened? And we were like,
What do you mean?
all 3 of us moved this dresser. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah, we're like little babies. We moved all the furniture. And then
Yeah.
so when Danielle came back, honestly, kind of rude of us. Didn't have a room. Now that I'm in college, I get it. But at the time, I was like, bro, you're selfish. You want me to share a room with Lindsay while you're in college when we have a
Yeah.
free room?
true.
It was kind of rude. And I was really upset. But it's fine. I'm over it. But it was rude. It was
Yeah.
a lesson learned for me for when I have kids someday. I'm going to preserve their room for a few years.
Yeah, I don't
For
think
when they come
Mom
home.
really thought
'Cause
about it.
Emotionally, that was really hard for me.
Well, mom she didn't tell us not to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
she
so-
literally just left, and we were like, "Oh, she's gone. Danielle's gone."
Yeah, it's go time.
Yeah.
Right.
It was.
Okay.
It's for the memories, you know.
Yeah,
Sure.
whatever.
Well, then
Builds character.
we paid
didn't
for
it?
it. We paid for it because then
Did
me and
it?
Lindsay had to share.
No, you and I shared.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
When I
you
came
and
back, and then I
you and
moved out.
and then no, at some point, me and Lindsay had to share too.
I don't
Swear.
remember you and Lindsay.
No, you
sharing a
didn't.
room.
Yeah, we did.
No, yeah. At one
Promise.
point, you and Cassidy got really bad where you weren't vibing. So mom moved you into the room, and Lindsay and Cassidy shared the bonus room.
Yeah.
At one point,
I know me and Lindsay shared the bonus room
Oh.
because we used to like in
Yeah.
the middle of the night we used to like crack up at different stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. But she had like that little bed that was just off in the side.
Yeah.
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 Anyway. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Lindsay.
Oh, right, Lindsay.
Our relationships with Lindsay.
And your relationship with her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think Lindsay was just always kind of like my buddy, and we shared a lot of the same interests. Like when we were younger, we both like to bake, we both like to cook, we like to play games.
That's true. And you guys bonded over that. Me and Cassidy bonded over like the hair, the makeup,
right?
That's
glam.
funny. Yeah,
the glam. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, I feel like that really wrapped up like literally sisterhood.
I think so.
That was sisterhood.
Yeah.
Because we literally argued in the midst of explaining our relationships.
Yeah. But
that's true.
Yeah.
And now that Lindsay has like moved away, like I think our relationship is still really good, but obviously there's a part of us we like miss her.
Yeah.
And like I feel like everyone has taken their turn. Eventually it'll be me, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, because Cassidy left, Danielle left, and now Lindsay's gone. And then that always changes it just because obviously the people you're in vicinity to,
Yeah.
we're like gonna see each other more, hang out more. But it's been good because I feel like with Lindsay, we all talk to her a lot still. Like when Cassidy was in New York, I didn't talk to that girl barely at all. But like when Lindsay's been gone, like we still talk to her a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that she moved away now because we've all been so close that we can like keep that relationship. Like she doesn't have to worry about
True.
our relationship like getting weaker.
Yeah. And I think the moral of the story is just the reason that we're all so close now is because we've just been through so much, like so many highs and lows, but we've chosen to maintain our relationship and move it forward and just be there for each other. Like not try and fix stuff. Like, just be there and always being available to hop on a phone call or a FaceTime or whatever. Just, going through the hard things is what makes your relationship grow stronger.
Like you're not always gonna like your sister.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna love her.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're gonna do things to make you mad.
Yeah.
Cross boundaries, whatever. But then you like have to choose to forgive and still want a relationship with them. Because I feel like there's a lot of times siblings, one thing happens and you just you move on from it and you're not as close.
Yeah. And I bet a lot of our people listening probably have siblings that maybe they're not in a good stage with them right now. Like they're probably in the me and Cassidy, high school, middle school thing. Like it does get better if you want it to get better.
Yeah.
If you both want it to get better.
Yeah.
So just keep like pushing through,
And this is your sign. Call your sister.
It's true.
Call
Or
your
brother.
brother.
Just give them a call.
Say hi.
Yeah. Ask how they're doing.
Yeah. I guarantee they're going to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be kind of awkward at first, but just do it.
Yeah. So is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Danielle, your outro. I don't know what you're doing. Just
Oh,
looking
it's
at
me?
us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Before the episodes, we always plan who's the intro and the outro, but honestly, we suck at it.
Yeah,
we
honestly.
shouldn't be allowed to outro or intro.
Next time we do the intro, we should all say it at the same time.
Oh, we've never done that.
Synchronize.
like hi.
Hi. They probably wouldn't even be able to tell because apparently we all sound the same.
True.
Even though I don't think we sound the same.
We don't.
Well, anyways, on that note.
Oh, now she's
Now
ready to
she wants
outro.
to
Now she
outro.
wants to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, guys. And just a reminder, if you have a sibling, give them a call, shoot them a text. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
listening.